It's not every week that I'm at Summerfest, but it's every Thursday with him on the Fan Guest Hotline powered by Gruber Law. He is Tim Dillard of FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin. Follow him on Twitter at Dim Dillard. Mr. Dillard, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you? How's Summerfest going?
Summerfest is good, man. It is going really well. It is warm, obviously, but not as warm as it's been. I mean, we're only in the high 70s at this point, so that's not horrible. Are you a guy that likes the extreme heat? Because, I mean, you don't live in Wisconsin year-round necessarily. You are in a warmer weathered climate state in Tennessee. Do you like the heat? Because, like my producer, it's above 75. He's sweating like a pig, and it's over, and he wants air conditioning. So what is it like for you?
I mean, if I'm playing baseball, I didn't care how hot it was. You know, if we played in New Orleans or Florida or wherever it was better for the pitches, right? Get more sink with more of that, that kind of humidity. So now that I'm on the broadcasting side, I like it a little cooler, honestly, since I got to wear collared shirts like this, which I'm not a fan.
But, like, what happens if you're going to a festival or an amusement park with the family and the kids and all of that, and you're walking around? Are you like, oh, man, I'm glad it's like 80, 85, man, this is good? Or you're like, man, why can't it be like 65? That would be much more comfortable.
Well, I always think about it, like when it's the winter time and it's so cold, I'm complaining. And, if I'm complaining when it's hot, it's the same thing. So when I keep in mind, if I'm too hot, I'm like, you know what, I will be okay with this, 4 months, 5 months from now. So, yeah, I don't really care either way.
Yeah, all right, very good. All right, let's talk about Jacob Misiorowski, because people are saying I'm overreacting. I know you're shocked. People are saying I'm overreacting. But, man, I watched this first, handful of starts. All is good. Last night, his velocity was on the money in the first inning, and then you saw the numbers go from over 100, so all of a sudden it's 98, 97, 96. And by the time he left after his 3 1/3 or whatever else, you're right, or more around 95, 96, somewhere in that area. I didn't hear anybody else really talk about the velocity. I mean, I don't think he topped 100 after the first inning of the rest of the game. Any reason to be concerned there? Because in his first 2 outings, he was over 100 pretty much the entire run of his outing.
No, I don't think so. I mean, from what I saw, I think they jumped him a little bit. I think maybe 3 of the 5 hits he gave up were on first pitch. He was very close to getting out of the situation. Ball just went over his glove. And sometimes you throw a pitch, the guy gets a hit. Now, maybe the juices kind of wore off as the game went on, because watching it, I thought maybe he sacrificed some miles per hour just to throw more strikes, because he was missing arm side a lot. Usually the remedy for that is to keep your left shoulder closed if you're right-handed, but also you can say, hey, I'm going to sacrifice a couple miles per hour to kind of try to pinpoint where I want it. Either way, I think he'll be fine. I don't think there's cause for concern at all.
So, has a pitching coach ever recommended that, as far as, why don't you take a little something off here if you're missing location? And then how hard is that to do if you're a pitcher, to try to take a little something off but not too much off at the same point to find that accuracy? To me, it feels like you could really get in a pitcher's head quickly and really get him screwed up even more.
Yeah, I had most pitching coaches are like, that's all you got? You can't throw harder than that? Unbelievable. No, I mean, honestly, when you try to do more, it doesn't work. In baseball, if you've never hit a ball 500 feet, then why are you trying to hit a ball 500 feet? If you've never thrown 105, don't try to throw 105. Stay within yourself. You hear this all the time, but the definition of that is in the moment with what you have and how you feel, try to make a pitch. That's really all it is. Or if you're up to bat, know the situation, try to put a ball in play. It's just very simple stuff. Stay within yourself. I think he was a little bummed out after the grand slam. I think Lindor capitalized on that with the next homer, and then I think he settled down after that. He was fine. He could have kept going for sure, and I think the velocity would have been back up and been fine. But I think he was searching for the adjustment that he needed to make and probably just couldn't find it in the moment.
Talking with Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst, as we broadcast live here at Summerfest. Here comes the drumline playing, and this is from the movie Drumline, y'all. They played this in the movie Drumline. This is actually from the movie. And these kids can't be more than, 13, 14, maybe. They're definitely not older than maybe middle school, freshman year of high school, maybe. But pretty good, man. Yeah. They're pretty good, Tim Dillard. A lot of drum lines walking around Summerfest out here doing their thing. Let me ask you another thing about Jacob Misiorowski, because this was brought up to me by Tommy. Words, who produces our Mason Crosby show and also produces our Pack a Day radio show, but he hosts our leadoff show before every game. He said, I wish they would just keep him with one catcher and let him work with one guy. Just say, Eric Haas is your guy. You're getting Eric Haas every time versus 2 with Eric Haas and 2 with William Contreras. What say you to that?
Well, I mean, it's just been 4 outings. There's no reason to jump to conclusions in any direction. Don't throw the jump to conclusions mat down at all. He spoke very highly of Haas after the game, and it was a doubleheader. Contreras gets priority, right? If Freddie wants Contreras behind the dish, he's going to be behind the dish. Is he going to catch a doubleheader? I don't really see it necessary for that to happen. Got to think that Haas and Misiorowski maybe worked together some, either in spring training or in AAA last year. They've already thrown with each other this year. I mean, these guys get on the same game plan. It's not that big a deal. I mean, yeah, you want to have the same catcher every time. Everybody wants Eddie Perez behind the dish, and everybody wants to throw like Greg Maddux. But, we don't live in that world, Peter Pan. We got to grow up. So when it comes to it, you work with what you have, regardless of your feelings either way, and you compete. And I just think that he's probably feeling like there was a lot left in the tank. And you know what? That's the problem with a starting pitcher. You got to wait so many days to get back out there. And especially when you figure out whatever the adjustment was or whatever the mindset was, you're like, man, I can't wait to get back out there. So that's what you're going to get next time out. A guy that says, hey, that was a blip on the radar. No big deal. Down to business. Here we go.
That's exactly right. And that's the one thing for me that I really am interested in seeing here is the next time out. This time out, he had an extra day of rest by how this whole thing played out. He had skis in the afternoon, and then he had an extra day of rest. If you're the Brewers, do you want to keep him on that same amount of rest every time, where instead of having it's on 4 days rest, maybe it's 5 days rest every time? Are you okay mixing it up from week to week? How does that work when you're dealing with a starting pitcher that's very young like he is?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care either which way they go. As guys are healthy and want to pitch, keep them in order. I just saw Adam McCalvy's tweet that looks like Quintana tonight, should probably know that, Quinn Priester the next day, Chad Patrick, and then Brandon Woodruff making his season debut. So, how it shapes up after that, if it's going to be Freddie and then Misiorowski again, who knows? But, I mean, there's so much going on behind the scenes. You can't just sit there and go, this guy, this guy, this guy. There's off days. There's better matchups. There's guys that need a day. It comes down to like bullpen session, how guys bounce back. And they have the liberty to be able to do this with so many starters now. So good for them.
Talking with Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst. Follow him on Twitter at Dim Dillard here, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy Steve Sparky Pfeiffer with you on the Fan. Have you ever been in a 6-man rotation at any point? And if the answer is yes, did you like it more than a 5-man rotation? Because there's been some talk of maybe they go to a 6-man rotation at some point.
I mean, honestly, I didn't care. I wanted to pitch every day. One of my best seasons was 2019 in AAA, where I was starting one game and then 2 days off. I was instead of throwing a bullpen, I was pitching out of the bullpen in a game. And then a day later, I was starting again. So I like that. I like being on the mound. I never had an issue. I don't know if I'm a unicorn in that way, but there's some guys that throw way harder that need way more rest, right? Like they just have way better electric stuff. But I remember CC Sabathia did not like throwing a bunch of bullpens when he was with the Brewers. He's like, I want to pitch, and instead of having a bullpen session, I want to just pitch again in a few days. Like that was his mindset. And I remember thinking, I wonder if you could put together a 4-man rotation of somebody like CC Sabathia at that time, maybe R.A. Dickey with the knuckleball. You know, some of those guys that can just throw. They can throw all day, every day. That's all they want to do is throw. I think those guys are rare. I mean, will it go to a 6-man rotation? Who knows? These things usually figure themselves out.
No doubt about it. He is Tim Dillard. I got one last one for you. I feel like we've talked about him the last couple of weeks, but Isaac Collins, man, my goodness gracious, man. I mean, 4 for 4 that one game yesterday with a walk, a home run. I mean, this guy, again, I know there's multiple stories, but he definitely is one of the top stories of the year.
I think he's started 43 games now for the Brewers. He has started 43 games, and I believe the Brewers are 32-12 when he plays.
That's without looking at anything. Dillard did that off the top of his mind. I watched his brain work just now on YouTube. That was really impressive, Tim Dillard. That was good.
They pay me to find this weird stuff about stats and everything. And listen, you can ask why or how or whatever. It could mean a bunch of different things. Maybe when he starts, he's in left, means Contreras is behind the dish. It means Yelich is DHing. So maybe that's the best matchup. I don't know. Either way, the guy's a gamer. We saw him crash into the wall the other day. His defense is spectacular right now. He throws to the right base. He hits his cutoff man. The ball doesn't get by him. And then on the offensive side, he hits from both sides of the plate, and he knows the situation. So he's a kid that, as long as he's healthy, run him out there because he can play.
He is Tim Dillard. Follow him on Twitter at Dim Tillard. Anything you want to promote on the way out here, my friend? What would you like to promote? Anything you got going on?
I don't know. Watch our pregame show today.
Oh,
and
like
every
it.
day on FanDuel Sports Network.
Craig Kashani, y'all do a great job. Just Vinny Rattino, y'all do a great job. I love it. Take care, Tim. I appreciate you.
All right. See you.